welcome to another episode of The Warrior Within. I'm your host, Jaime Bennett. And as always, because we're going to be discussing a sensitive topic, viewer discretion is advised. I thought that since this is my last episode of the season, that I would change things up just a little bit. For the first time ever, I have a special guest on my program. I'm very honored and delighted that they are here. We are going to be discussing mental health, passions, and very important projects that they are involved in. I am very honored and delighted to introduce my special guest and friend, Patrick L. Smith.
Hi.
Hey, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. So I thought that I would ask you, what are your coping mechanisms with mental health? Like, what do you do to help you, get through mental health?
So basically, the way I deal with um, my coping mechanism, I would say, is listening to gospel music. That pretty much relaxes me, puts me in a very good mindset, even though there's been many times that, like, throughout the day, not only myself, but pretty much everybody goes through something at every point, and no matter point in time in life, we all gotta go through stuff in order to get to where we need to be. Um, some people they they use certain ways to deal with mental. Um, the way I deal with my mental health is, like I say, listen to gospel music. I'll get in my car, let my windows down, open my sunroof if it's sunny, and just take in fresh air. Um, Fresh air, like I have a lot of plants within my house. I take care. Spending time with family. That's pretty much one of the one of my go-tos is family time. I have a huge family. With that being said, everybody knows not all families get along. I'm gonna say mine don't. Not everybody gets along, but the ones that when we do come together, we have a good time. We can talk about sensitive subjects, and at the end of the day, we know that hey, I can depend on you and you can depend on me at any point in time. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much how I deal with mental health.
That's a good way of handling it. I mean, I know that I have had mental health situations in the past. Like, I lost a child, and that's not anything that any parent ever wants to go through. And, to get through my mental situations and to help with my mental health, I usually meditate or I do paintings or I'll listen to music or I'll play my guitar. Or I'll just sing to the top of my lungs
Yeah,
with my favorite artists. And gospel music is really good to sing to. That
yeah,
definitely
that it is.
de-stress. um, are there any is there any advice that you would give someone if like a friend that's going through a mental situation or a colleague?
Yes, don't be afraid to reach out to somebody, because that's where a lot of people are nowadays. Is they're scared to reach out to somebody because they're scared somebody's going to judge them on their past or their present or something that they might be going through. At the end of the day, the only person that is able to judge us is the man upstairs. I
Mhm.
don't care what you did 20 years ago, 50 years ago, however long. I don't care what you did yesterday. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to judge you. Because everybody, when I say everybody, everybody has skeletons in their closet, whether or not they want to admit it or not. If you sit here and tell me, oh, yeah, I'm perfect, I've never done nothing wrong, you know good and well that's a lie. Um,
Exactly.
so, yeah, don't be afraid to reach out to somebody. I have like people because not everybody knows my story that I've been through. Um, I'll share some of it with you.
That's
So
fine.
back
Just what you're
in
comfortable with.
yeah, so back in 2015, I was living what I thought was my best life. I went out with friends and no, I'm not even gonna say friends, associates. Um, went to a club and had a good time. I was smoking something that I thought was weed. Turned out to be it wasn't weed. It was weed that was laced with methamphetamine, which caused me to really seriously go crazy.
Oh my
Um, it was a life or death situation. I immediately called my father and I told my father, I was like, I don't know what's going on. I was like, this is something's happened. I was seeing a lot of stuff. And I thought that somebody was attacking me when at the end of the day I was attacking myself.
God.
I stabbed myself in the chest,
Yeah.
uh, stabbed myself in the neck, which at that point I was pretty much out of it. My dad, at that point, I no longer had a voice. I no longer had a voice at all. Nobody could understand anything I was saying. Um, this was when I lived in so my dad knew something wasn't right. I was telling him something wasn't. So my dad honestly saved my life. He's in Georgia. I'm in New York. He called 911. He told them where I was. They immediately contacted the 911 operation system in New York. Within minutes, there was policemen, firemen, EMS at my door. I had lost a lot of blood. I was pretty much dead.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, it took me going through that to pretty much open my eyes because my dad didn't know what was going on. My stepmom, my aunt, nobody knew what was going on. And I'm like, I was in a coma for 3 days. Um, and when as soon as my dad them got there, they immediately came to the hospital. Remind you, I was in a coma. It took when they walked into my room, you can ask my dad, my stepmother, well, um, as soon as they walked in, I came out of that. And I'm like, it was talking to me. I didn't have a voice, so I couldn't say anything back. Um, so once the doctors figured out what it was, they asked me like, well, who was you with? And I explained like what happened, who I was with, and all that I remembered. At this point, they want to put me in a psych unit because they thought I was crazy. And it took my dad and my aunt and my stepmother was like, no, this is not who that person is. We don't know who that person is. And to be honest, I never knew because that's not something that I would do to myself.
Yeah.
So after like speaking to them, like I've had already been seeing a therapist because I lost my mom at a very young age. As a matter of fact, my mom, she had pretty much given up on life because there was some certain things that was said about her from certain family members Um, and that pretty much broke my mom's heart. So that caused her to drink a lot more, not want to associate with anybody. I didn't know this story until I got older. It sickens me that people could be so cruel and say such mean things about somebody. And at the end of the day, it was nothing my mother did. My mother, I get this from my mother. If anybody needs help, she was there to help. In this situation, it was my dad's father that he would call on my mother to have her do stuff like if they needed to go somewhere, my mother would go help because that was her father-in-law. But of course, when like I said, I come from a huge family. My grandparents had a total of 13 kids, uh, and he felt more comfortable asking my mom to do stuff for him than his own kid. So of course, like folks said some very hateful things, and it's still to this day that I've forgiven them, but it still like burns me down within that somebody could say some hurtful things like about somebody. Uh, to this day, uh, I still help out my family when needed, but it's got to the point where you can only help somebody if they want to. If you want, if you expect somebody to help you when you're not helping yourself, that's not doing anything at all. So, like now, in my life through all the stuff that I've been through. I'm at a very good place as far as my mental health. I got to the point where like I was on medication and it seemed like the medication had made me feel worse than how I was feeling. So I told my doctor, I said, no, this ain't. If we could just wing me off of this, that's where I read scriptures, I listen to my gospel, I play the drums, I'll sing, I'll act, whatever I need to do to keep my mind afloat and positively, I will do that. But one thing that as I get older that I don't deal with is negativity.
Mhm.
You can keep your negative thoughts to yourself,
Yeah.
negative comments. I don't have time for it. That's the best way to get you put out my life is negative comment.
Yeah.
And even with that, I've I've totally cut off some family members
Right.
because they always have something negative to say. If you can't say anything positive about me, I don't want to be around. If you can't say anything positive about other family members, I don't,
Exactly.
because that type of negative is going to rub off on me and make me feel some type of way. And I don't have time for that.
Mhm.
God has been too good to me for me to let somebody dim my light. I want to shine my light as much as possible. And that's like, it's been a lot good stuff. Some of the stuff I can't actually get into.
That's okay.
Um,
I
but
understand.
just to
It's
know, just to
okay.
know, like good things are happening.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful and thankful that I haven't seen you since what? How many years?
It's been since 2019. I try to keep up with you, but you're a busy person.
I am. I really am. If I'm not working, um, um, traveling back and forth to see my uncle who had a stroke, really severe stroke. So me, my father, and my stepmother have been going back and forth to Tennessee, seeing him. Um, what else? Yeah,
You
that's a lot.
You're very well. I mean, I'm so proud that you've come as far as that you have come, like even since me getting the privilege of working alongside you where we used to work, I can see that you have come a long way since then, and I'm so extremely proud of you. Like I couldn't be any more happier for myself, if things were happening to me. I'm so happy for you, Patrick. You deserve anything and everything your heart desires, because I know that you've been through a lot. And thank God that you're here. Thank God that we have crossed paths, because I respect you and I appreciate having you as a friend in my life. Like
Thank
you're an amazing person. And if you've not heard that today, I'm telling you, you're an amazing person and I appreciate you.
thank you so much. I appreciate you too.
No, thank
I
you.
honestly do.
um, so like I'm glad that your dad could be there for you, and I'm glad that you're here today. Like, thank God for that. And it's not right that people put other people down. It's not a respectable thing to do. I don't understand it. When I was younger, yeah, maybe I had said some negative things. I wasn't mature enough.
Yeah,
And,
okay.
I've said negative things about other people before I got to know them. And,
We all have. We all have.
but like, since being older and since being through all the traumatic situations that I've been through personally, like I've matured and I can't handle people being negative. I can't handle people putting other people down. I always say, don't judge a person before you get to know them. Just keep
Exactly.
your mouth shut until you get to know the person, because you don't know what they're going through in their personal everyday lives. They could be
Exactly.
going through something really, really awful that no one can understand but themselves and God above.
Yeah.
So, are there any like projects that you can talk about that you're passionate about, that you're working on or involved with?
Well, without getting too far into it, but as you know, like I've previously, have you seen on Facebook, I've previously been doing extra work with like Tyler Perry, and I've been on season one, three, and four of his show Sisters. You might not see me, but I'm there. Trust me, I'm there. But some of the scenes, like you are actually able to see me. That was like you can ask my father. Growing up as a child, I was like I always wanted to move to New York because of the lights. It's so lit up in New York. But me moving to New York did. I mean, I had my good times in New York. I'm not going to say that I didn't have my good times, because I met wonderful people there that I'm still in contact with as well. Um, but I have learned that my circle is oh so small, because that's what sometimes you have to do. You have to let the negative ones go in order to brighten your horizons. But anyway, I got off subject. Sorry. But yeah, like the Tyler Perry stuff, I've been doing stuff with extra work with that. I'm in three magazines. I've been published in three magazines. Germany, France, two in Germany and one in France. So that's exciting. I told you, like, yeah, I've been very busy. Um, I'm currently I will be currently working on a project that I can't talk about starting soon. Um, if you notice, all my facial hair is gone, but it's a reason why it's gone, and I could not be more grateful, happy, excited because this oh, yeah, it's very exciting. So yeah, stay tuned. In regards to that, what else? Much it. Yeah, family, work. That's pretty much, yeah. How about you?
Um, doing this Cosmos Creative Television. It started off as Tardon Media Network, and I got connected with Jonathan, the director, and Renee Yaworsky. Um, she's also a producer and director that works with Tardon Media. We branched out and created this other branch off of Tardon Media Network. It's separate, but kind of part of the whole world of Tardon Media, called Cosmos Creative Television. And I'm very fortunate that I get to work with wonderful people through this television. I'm getting to do what I've always wanted to
Always wanted.
do,
Yeah,
like
we talked
be
about this
creative.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we've talked about this before. Yeah,
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Patrick's a dear friend of mine. I got the privilege of getting to know him back in 2019, and it's been a while since we've actually come face to face and talked to each other, and face to face. But we worked a pretty difficult job together. We were managers at a store, and
yeah,
they kept us on our toes, and it was a very stressful situation, and Patrick always helped me through that situation. I would de-stress to him, be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. So he always helped me out. He always had a positive attitude.
thank you.
But yeah, it's been a while. Like we've come so far since working together. Like
You really have.
it's amazing how much of a difference a few years make.
Next,
Like I'm so proud that you're doing what you're doing in life. Like that makes me so very, very happy for you. I love seeing my friends accomplish things. Like I
me
just
too.
can't understand people like trying to put other people down and not being happy for another person for when they accomplish something that they really want to accomplish in life. You need to be happy for that
For
person,
them.
because
Yeah,
even if you're not getting to succeed in what you to succeed in at that particular moment, your day will come. And I always figure, your ship will come, it'll happen. It may take longer than you're wanting it to take, but it'll happen. I've waited many, many years to be able to work in with my degree and work in like the television industry and broadcasting, and I'm finally getting to do it. It's awesome.
yeah. What I always tell people is God will never deliver your mail to somebody else's house.
Yeah.
If he's delivered something to your next door neighbors, just know he's in your neighborhood. So you might be next. So like you just said, don't put other people down because they're they've got their blessings. Because you putting them down because of what they got, what is that gonna solve on your end? Nothing. You're just a O negative person that nobody really wants to deal with. And what I've noticed in life is some people will say stuff you want to hear, or they'll tell you something that you don't want to hear. I'm that person. I'm gonna tell you something if there's that you don't want to hear or you want to hear, but I'm gonna tell you whether you like it or not, because that's just who I am as a person. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't be myself,
Yeah.
because it took me a long time to be comfortable within myself because I always was scared what other people thought. And I'm 35 now. You can call me whatever you want to call me. You could say whatever you want to say about me, but at the end of the day, my light is still going to shine regardless. Your negative thoughts, it's not,
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep moving forward, point blank.
Exactly. I mean, that's what you have to do. Like, I know when I worked with you, like I said, we worked in a very stressful situation, and it was common for people to talk about people behind their back. And I just got to the point, like, after I left there, that I'm like, it's just not right. It's not, it, you don't need to knock other people down to get
Yeah.
up the ladder.
Yeah.
There's just no point. I mean, I couldn't lay my head down at night if I did that. Like, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I wouldn't be able to handle dealing with myself. Like, I
Yeah.
can't do that to another person. Like, just does not make sense to me. It doesn't make me feel good, and like you said, it accomplishes nothing.
Exactly.
Is there anything else that you would like to talk about before we,
Oh,
close out the program?
well, yeah. Well, one of the things I can briefly discuss is there's going to be a show coming out very soon called Influence Me TV. I'm currently in that contest. There's 3 rounds where round one will end on Tuesday. Currently, I'm number one in my group. So yeah, like the way that this works is it's building off like mental health and suicide prevention. Any funds that will be raised towards that, partial of the funds will go to the Judd Foundation for Mental Health. Um, that's, as I said, mental health is very, very important. There's a lot of people in this world that take it for granted that, oh, well, I'll just handle it this way. And for instance, you can drink or whatever you need to do to think that your problems are going to go away. Well, when you sober up, guess what? Those problems are still there. So, with that being said, like there's different roads that you can go down to allow people to help you, take care of you, be a listening ear to somebody. Don't just allow them to go down that road because they want to go down it. Because we know as a person that it's not a good road to go down. Um, without it's been like a lot of people with mental health that's like taking their lives, and it's not worth it. Trust and believe it's not worth it because life is always better if you put forth an effort into what you want to come out of your own life. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
You have really good advice, and I appreciate, the advice that you've given everybody, and I really appreciate you sharing your story and talking about everything that you talked about. Like I said before, you're an amazing person. I'm going to keep saying it, to accomplish everything that you've accomplished and to go through everything that you've been through. Um, I I think that, you're an amazing person, and, I've been through a lot of stuff in my lifetime, and to go through something that I've been through, like my story. A lot of people have told me it's amazing that I'm still standing on my own 2 feet. I
Yeah,
was like,
same here.
as like having somebody listen to me, having a friend that I can talk to about things, having somebody to just, comfort you or listen to you, even if it's not about the subject that you're upset about, just to distract your mind.
Exactly.
That makes all the difference in the world to a lot of people. And like you said at the beginning of the program, a lot of people are too afraid to reach out because they're afraid that, this is something to be ashamed of. Mental health should not be something to be
Something,
ashamed of.
right?
Like, it needs talked about, and I wish that more people could feel, comfortable stepping forward and talking about it, because it needs to be talked about. It's one of
Yeah.
these subjects that does not need to be cliche
Please.
or
Right. A lot of people like to sweep it under the rug
Mhm.
and think that that's going to solve the issue. No, I was like, just talk about what you're going through. Nobody knows what you're going through if you don't tell them. If you
Yeah,
just keep it built up inside, you're only hurting yourself by not talking about
exactly. Yeah, like I mean, if I wouldn't have had people to help me through my situations, like, I don't know what would have happened. Like, I can't honestly say, back when I was in college, I went through a traumatic situation with an ex-boyfriend, and I won't get into the details, but it was bad enough that, I had to go see a therapist, and
it.
I had to take anxiety pills. And luckily, I had a friend that I could talk to that helped me through that entire situation.
Yeah. My dad has been my go-to and like two best friends and other half. Um, if I need anybody to talk to, I know I can count on any of them. My aunt that recently passed in September, we talked every week. She always had something nice to say, and sometimes, and she's one of those people. She'll tell you like it is, no matter what. Um, she was actually there with me, like when I went through what I was going through. She was there. She would buy cards and read me the cards. And if my hair was looking a mess, she would be the person. Ooh, your hair is a mess. Let me comb out your hair. You want me to comb out your hair? Um, but yeah, it like I said with that, I didn't have a voice for a little over a so I couldn't talk. Like the only communication that I can do was like write on. And then I found a doctor, which I will never forget this doctor. His name is Peek Woo. He's in New York City. Um, he he basically says like I'm gonna get your voice back. It might not be your original voice, but you will have a voice. And still to this day, like I still have problems like breathing and stuff, but I'm okay with that because I'm talking. I couldn't talk before all this happened. I had a normal voice. I could sing. I could, I'm not gonna say I'm not the best singer, but I don't care. If I want to sing, I can sing. I might have to take a few minutes to get my breath back, but that's okay. Because at the end of the day, I'm able to speak on my own and not having to rely on writing on a piece of paper or somebody trying to figure out what I'm saying. Because that year that I did have to do that, I'm like, nobody can understand what I'm saying. It was a very awful, something awful that I wouldn't wish on. Yeah.
Yeah, and what an amazingly powerful voice you have too. Like,
Oh, thank you.
I see that you're gonna do a lot of good in the world. Like, your voice is powerful, and I believe people will listen to what you have to say. Um, so I'm gonna bring my director up. He wants to come on screen here for a little bit.
All right.
He might have some questions for you. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, I just wanted to say, because as when y'all see this, you will see that this is the season 1 finale, and I just want to say how thankful I am to you, Jaime, for putting your trust in me to run this thing. But man, as much as it has benefited you opening up and now branching out and having guests like Patrick on, I feel that it has benefited me because it has made me think things I've never thought before. It's made me view things in different lights that I'd not seen before. It's made me see things in so many wonderful perspectives. And what I truly love about this show, and Patrick embraces this to a T, is that, it's okay to be open. It's okay to shed lights on the dark parts of your life. It's okay to say the quiet things out loud. And Jaime, I so appreciate you, starting this and giving not only yourself a chance to do this, but to give all of us, beginning with Patrick, a chance to do this. I'm blessed to be able to do this. I'm blessed to be directing this show with 2 brave, wonderful souls today. And it's been an amazing ride for this first season. My brain's starting to falter a little bit because I didn't think I'd be jabbering for this long. But Jaime, I just want to say, and I speak on behalf of Renee as well, that we are both very thankful for you. We're both very thankful that you're in our lives and have graced us all with your openness, your encouragement, your kindness. And it's just a true blessing to be able to get to do this. And Patrick, you are a wonderful guest. You, my God, the story that you have to tell and will tell in your time as someone who has gone through some of the same stuff that you have gone through, it really gives me hope. It gives me a lot of hope to see how you've persevered and come ahead, and your star is only going to rise from here. And I cannot wait to see how high your star rises. And I'm hoping that we could get you on some more of our other shows, because I know the folks out there would be so inspired to hear your story. And like I've said, you've got just an incredible story to tell. So before I start bawling, I'm going to get off of here. But Jaime, again, thank you for taking a chance on us and sticking with us through all of the shifts and all of the name change debacle and the other things. Oh, I said it when you started this, and it rings even truer now. You have a gold mine beneath you. And I'm so thankful that you chose me, of all people, to be a part of it. Thank you, Jaime.
Thank you for taking a chance on me. Thank you so much, Patrick, for being here. I'm very honored and delighted that you were able to be here. I know that you're a very busy person, and I appreciate you giving us time to tell your story, and I really appreciate that you've told your story. As always, thank you all for watching today's program. I hope that it was informational and educational. And like I always say, love, hugs, and blessings to you all.